Yeah, so welcome to the second part of our conversation, right? And like I said, we'll be looking at the concept of marketing, sales, and try to tidy up the business part too, right? And after this, we would have a live session later on. So without any further ado, let's get started. Now, I have a couple of things I wrote on my notes. Sounds more like wise sayings. So let me see. Meanwhile, I'm working on another book, right? This one is going to be more of like a compilation of my thoughts and musings and that kind of stuff. Then another one would be more of like a guide. I think I would title that one before you start your next business or before you start that business, probably. So keep your ears peeled, right? Next year is going to be wonderful. And some of those wise sayings or whatever. I was doing a post on ways of getting money. I didn't say making money, getting money. I believe making is different from getting, right? I don't know, but I just have this belief that they are different. And at one point, I said the first one is earning money, and in earning money, I didn't complete the post because I said I was going to do it for persons who signed up here. But at the point of earning money, I was referring to exchange of value, right? And we have talked and talked and talked almost to the point of redundancy on what value is. And I wrote down here that packaging affects your perceived value, right? People are going to price you kind of based on value or the perception of the value they have for you. When I say price you, I don't mean bargain your price. I mean fix your pricing structure or what they feel you should charge based on the value they have for your product. And that value, apart from the value equation, is also in response or in respect to other existing commodities, right? This is how people measure value and stuff. I also wrote that we live in a world of cause and effect, actions and results. And it's very, very easy to pursue money. If there's anything I'm going to teach anybody younger, right, than me currently, maybe as a mentee or as a parent of my child, it's the fact that most of the things we've been taught to chase or we grew up conditioned to chase are actually results, not actions. Like I said, we live in a world of cause and effect. The only way you can get a particular effect or result is if you affect the cause. So we live in a world where we are taught to pursue money, wealth. You get all these things. All these things are results. Money is a result. Wealth is a result. Health is a result. Sickness self is a result. Poverty, lack is a result. Something caused it. And it's like a tree or a seed and fruit. What we try to do most times is that we try to change the fruit. So imagine you get a fruit of a tree, for example, and you discover that that fruit is not sweet. What we try to do is that we try to change the whole tree by just affecting one fruit. Whereas if you are going to change the taste of a particular fruit, you need to start from the root cause. And I think at that point in agriculture, they taught us something about grafting or so. Or you want to imagine you typed out something and you printed it out only to discover on the printer that there was a mistake. Now, how do you effect correction? Do you effect correction on the printout or on the stuff you were typing? But what we try to do is that we go to the printout, correct the mistake, and press print, forgetting that what should be corrected is not the printout but the original copy, right? So yeah, we live in a world of cause and effect, and to help you get out of this rat race, the first thing you need to understand is that most of the things we chase are results, and as such cannot really be changed except we tackle the root cause. Another random wise saying in quotes is, what you hear you forget, what you see you remember, what you do you understand. What you hear you forget, what you see you remember, and what you do you understand. Right? When you take this knowledge over the past couple of days and you implement it, it begins to make much sense to you than you just hear what we are saying and it's all good for you. This is not the first boot camp you might be attending. This is not going to be the last boot camp. But what difference is it going to make after attending this one? You may have been granted free access, you may have paid for it. I don't chop your money, I don't go. It's left to you to know what to use the information or the knowledge being passed to do, right? And another one, ways the mind is conditioned or programmed. One is verbal programming, the things you hear. So your mind can be conditioned based on the things you hear. That, like North Koreans, I think that's the way they are basically programmed. Like, even during the Second World War, I think if you're captured by the Germans, then if you're captured by them, they would put all this Hitler propaganda stuff to be playing, trying to reprogram or recondition your mind. The things you see condition your mind. So mind what you see, the experiences you've had. I keep saying it, that environment is going to affect you. Environment, please mind your environment. Mind your environment as a business person, as a leader, as someone who is growing, as someone who wants to scale. Mind the environment you find yourself in. If it is toxic for you, please leave. This life now, one, you owe it to yourself and to the persons tied to you that you don't die or you don't perform below standard, right? So without further ado, let's get straight into marketing. So what is marketing? I think now the best way to define something is by defining what it is not, or stating what it is not, right? So marketing is not posting on WhatsApp, right? Marketing is not even running ads. They are part of marketing, but they are not what marketing is all about, right? So what is marketing now? Marketing is everything you do to make the right people want you, trust you, choose you, and stay with you. Marketing is what you do to make the right people, by right people we mean your target audience, want you. So the first thing is that they will want you. Oh, why would they choose? Let me take one of your businesses, for example, Glow House. Why would they want me? Why would they trust me? To want and to choose, they are not the same thing. Someone may want you but not choose you. For example, if I list, let's say milk brands now, there is Good Time, Loyal Milk, Cowbell, Dano Milk. I want at least Dano, Cowbell, Loyal, and maybe Peak and Good Time. But if I have to choose one, it has to be one. I could either choose Good Time because of the price, or Peak Milk because people are saying creamer is different from instant milk, is that, is this, is that. So what I was trying to say is that wanting you is different from choosing you. And then finally, staying with you. So marketing is everything you do to make the right people want you, trust you, choose you, and stay with you. So if you have a problem with marketing in your business, when you understand the meaning or the concept, it helps you to know all those pieces of the puzzle that you have to work on in order to make the thing work, right? And we have agreed, or we have established, that a business exists to create a customer. Customers bring in money. Money is the bloodline of business. Now, marketing exists to create desire. You have identified the pain point, right? You have your target audience. Marketing is what is going to create that desire in somebody for them to want you, trust you, choose you, stay with you. Now, what marketing really is. Now, marketing is the discipline of understanding your market, creating a message, crafting a promise, and delivering it through the right channels to influence a customer's perception, emotion, and decision. Mathematically, marketing is equal to a perception engineering plus demand creation plus marketing position plus customer attraction. All these things: perception engineering, demand creation, market positioning, customer attraction. That is what marketing connotes. So marketing involves understanding your market, crafting a message around that market, or creating a message, then crafting a promise based on that message, delivering it through the right channels to influence customer perception, emotion, and decision, right? Most persons buy emotionally. I'm telling you, customers buy more emotionally than they buy logically. Now, the marketing pyramid. So you can call this point whatever, maybe 1.2, the marketing pyramid. Level 1 is market understanding. Market understanding. Why? Because if you don't understand your customer, you can't influence them. If you don't understand your customer, you cannot influence them. And that is why I say, if you're going to do business at a global level or at a global scale, we need to forget all these, theatrics we adopted over a couple of months. This showbiz that we've learned how to do. A business person is out of touch with the customers, is, sorry to say this, but I think I wrote it down on my note. To an extent, what messed up the business space, I'm not even going to say recently because it's not a recent thing. It's just that the older you get, the more you begin to observe certain things, or you begin to take note of certain things. Somebody starts a business and after 2 months the person is already driving car, and so you think that, I wrote it down, I said, don't be under pressure by all those things. So if somebody starts a business and that month or after 2 months the person is already driving a car, there's a high chance that the person had money before starting that business. That's if what the person is doing is legit. Or there's a high chance the person is into another kind of thing, I don't want to say fraud, and is just looking for a business front to cover their whole movement and stuff. So don't be under pressure by anything. Business takes time, right? I was listening to Vusi and he said, he was talking to a lady, right? She said they started making profit at the second year or the first year. And Vusi was like, no, it's not possible. I don't know if I entirely agree with him on that tangent, right? But it goes a lot to say that he has seen a lot of businesses more than I have done, right? He's more experienced in this thing, and he was like, businesses don't make profit just immediately. When you calculate the cost of stuff, setting up stuff, you are breaking into a new market, or you are trying to build a market for yourself, and all these things come at a cost. So you cannot just be making profit at year 1. You can make profit maybe at year 3, probably, right? But when you consider the legal side of doing business, you would even want to compromise on your profits and call it a loss. But then I digressed just to say that marketing is more than just trying to make sales or trying to display the wonderfulness, if that's a word, of your product. It's about connecting with your customer. There was this whole Coca-Cola and Pepsi debate that went on for a number of years. Like, I mean, it was battle between Coca-Cola and Pepsi. But Coke always won, and after much study, I just attributed it to the fact that their ads or their marketing strategy projected them to be more of a family, home-based kind of product. Coke is a drink you share with a loved one. Coke is a that. Coke is a this. Coca-Cola, blah 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 blah. They did blind test, like to show you this logical and emotional thing. They did a blind test, Coca-Cola or Pepsi blind test. Like, they will serve you Coke and Pepsi, you will taste, and then select which one you think is sweeter. Pepsi won, yet Coca-Cola was still making sales. So it's beyond just being good. As much as being good is good, because in a variety or sea of products, what is going to make you stand out first is that you're good. The challenge I think Pepsi had is that Coke came out before them, so they had market share 1. 2, they majored down on marketing 2, and so it's secure. So this is, marketing is more like putting your seatbelt and securing your position in the marketing. So market understanding is the first level of the marketing pyramid, and at the market understanding level, you need to know your customers' pain points, right? The challenges they are facing. Desire points will be like the end product they want to achieve. You would have to understand their daily habits, their spending behavior, spending triggers, language and style, barriers to buying, what prevents them from buying, what kind of language do they prefer to communicate in, what triggers their buying or spending behavior. So, for example, we would say Uber understood, though it's not a Nigerian brand, but one of the ways they would have marketed it, in Nigeria must have been, especially in Lagos, that Lagosians hate waiting. Lagos, I had Lagos a meeting of 7, you should be on the go by around 5. And to a large extent, there is this, branding theology that had come up a few years ago, and so people try to package themselves at the point where they want you to relate with them from. I think I had this story of a man who was going for a high paying role or gig or something and dropped in is he a keke or a bike? And like, say, unfortunately for him, one of the persons who was going to interview him was looking out the window at that point and saw him, dropping from I don't know if it's a taxi or a bike, not a taxi, a keke or a bike, right? And by the time he got up, I think he passed through a lot of interviews. It was remote, and then got to the final stage where they had to come for a physical interview. And when he came up, I think they asked him, "Were you the one that dropped from that?" He said yes. and because of that he didn't get the role or something like that. So imagine you hear this kind of story, and then you hear this ride-hailing service called Uber that promises you, this luxurious feel. You drop down, you don't have a car, but people think you have a car, and you would think that is not a market until you go to a place where that is the pain point of most of the persons staying there or living there. Right? Then number 2 is positioning, because in the 4 P's of marketing, it is one thing to have product, it's another thing to know place or have place. So number 2 in this pyramid of marketing is positioning. And in this point of positioning, you look at it as, I want to reframe it in this way: what space do you own, or what space does your product own in the customer's mind? So for example, Uber helps you, or is the easiest way to move from point A to point B. Let's say PalmPay is the easiest way to do everyday banking. PayPal, though there are other variations and better variations of it now. There's Flutterwave, there's even there's this one. I've not used it before, but because of their ad and marketing, why am I forgetting the name? Cleverworks. Yes, Clever. Either Clever or Cleverworks, right? The safest way to send money online. So how well are you positioning yourself to solve a particular problem? You cannot try to solve all the problems. And even if you plan on doing it, start from a particular place or a particular point. Most of these big brands now are diversifying into a lot of things, but they are, at the initial stage, they were known for doing one thing. For example, if you hear Jeff Bezos now, you say, oh, Jeff Bezos, Amazon. Now when you dive deep to look at what is Amazon really doing, you now see that Amazon is a web of services and products. The third thing you're going to take note of is messaging. And messaging is going to involve your voice, your story, and communication strategy. Learn to tell a story behind your brand. People love stories. My God. Like if you can tell story. When you look up people like what's this Uber guy's name? Klanik. Oh, why am I forgetting his name? Uber CEO or founder. Travis Kalanick, yes, Travis. When you look up people like Travis, people like Jack Ma is Alibaba. Who again? This Airbnb guy, I'm forgetting his name now. But you will just discover these guys can talk. Like, if you stay with them for 1 hour, 2 hours, they can sell you. And as a business person, you need to have that skill. You need to know how to engage people in conversations, how to engage people on the profitability or value of what it is that you're selling. What do you say? How do you say it? Why does what you say matter? How does it make people feel? Like, WeWork was more of a, I would say, if they had doubled down on real estate, they would have done pretty well, right? But WeWork saw this community kind of workspace idea, and when we say a company is a unicorn, it's a company that is valued around 1 billion before valuation. Valuation is when you go public, right? When you go public investors can now buy shares in your company. But when you're a unicorn, it means that you have raised $1 billion in valuation just from private investors. And you see, WeWork was a unicorn. I think Theranos too. Theranos is that of Elizabeth Holmes. These guys were good with messaging. So if you only sell, patronize your baby girl, or maybe you don't use baby girl, patronize Glow House for your affordable hairs, blah 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 blah. You may sell to family, friends, contact list and stuff, right? But there are a lot of persons you're not going to sell to. For example, most persons here have customers they buy stuff from. Why do you buy from your customer? Why don't you go to another person? For most persons, the only thing that can destroy that relationship is when they discover that their customer, as per the person selling stuff to them, is outrightly cheating them. But you may see, this my customer sells, let's say, water 500 naira, but I can go to this place and get it for 400 naira. I can tell you, if you have that 500, most persons will prefer to go to that customer and get 500 than come and buy it 400. The only thing that may prevent you is if you don't have enough cash on you, or you don't have strength to make that long distance journey or something. But it goes a long way to tell you how emotional people can get when it comes to buying. And so if you have a strong voice, a good story, and an excellent communication strategy, then you have a good market share. People don't just buy products, they buy meaning to products. A particular product makes a person feel a certain way. There is this design, I will not call him a design coach, but he's a big name when it comes to design. I'm trying to remember his name. What's his name? What, the founder of Future, right? If you Google Future, you probably see his name. I think it's this. He should be an American or so, but he should maybe have Korean or Chinese background. Sorry, just give me Chris Du. Thank you, Chris Du. So now, this time I heard him talking about Apple, and he was like, he cannot use a Windows or a laptop that is not Apple. He said a couple of things. Typing on it is that there's this feel. Typing on Apple gives and stuff. So I was like, oh wow. Like, don't you see it that Apple is not doing any innovation again? Personally, I say the innovation of Apple died and was buried at the point Steve Jobs died. But people still buy Apple. See, tomorrow Apple will go do a new something, call it iPhone 18 Pro, spray new colors, do nothing, and you will still see people buying from them. Are they losing customers? Yes, they are. They still have market share. Now, if they don't innovate, most likely it gets to a point where they are going to continue to lose customers, right? So it's left for them now at this point to choose to innovate and get back into the game. But it goes a long way to show you how strong messaging can actually push your product or your business. Now, the fourth thing is the channels. The channels. Where are your market, or where is your market located? Right? Or the channels through which your customers can get in touch with you. Number one is social media, right? We are in a social media age, and yes, social media. You have to get on social media. Probably if another media comes up in the years to come, this teaching will be updated to include that media. But currently, you need to get on social media, because people live in their houses and people live on the internet. Number two channel, or another channel, is with influencers. most of your consumers are with influencers. I didn't know how much influencer marketing could do till I saw what influencer marketing could do. It's very, very, very strong. Like, especially when that influencer has built a community. See, try to raise 1k or 2k for yourself. Then you will know the kind of stunt this guy, should I call him guy? This man is married. This man, Davido, put when he did that. How much did he raise? I've forgotten how much he raised for that new account that he opened. But you show you how people that have not seen food to eat are sending money to somebody that doesn't need the money. He gave it out to a motherless baby's home or a charity and stuff. I saw this post dragging Pella and Jarvis, or dragging their followers rather, saying, when I never see food chop, when they send them money as per, their streamers and stuff like that. It goes a long way to show you how crazy people can be when it comes to money and influencers, right? So another one is billboards, right? Social media, influencers, billboards. Get your stuff on the street. Anywhere people turn, let them get to see you. Billboards, I would say it's going out of vogue, but it works for a lot of persons. So if you have the money to do that, please do. WhatsApp is still part of social media. Ambassador network should be part of influencers. So if you're with your note, you just write influencers, ambassador networks, right? Then there's the field marketing. Field marketing is usually when you see all these guys with their legs and parading the streets, blowing horns and stuff. In some parts of the world, that may be categorized as noise pollution, but if it is permitted in your area, it's something you can adopt if you can afford it. There's the traditional media, the use of the traditional media, right? When it comes to TV now is even becoming, or cable network is becoming traditional media. I know when it was in vogue, then at least I'm not Gen Z. I'm Gen older than Z. Then there's direct response advertising. Direct response advertising. And it's also important to know that one of these channels done properly, right, is stronger than 5 channels done poorly. So if you can leverage on one and maximize it to its fullest, you'll be better off than somebody who runs 5 of these different channels but does it poorly. When we talk about direct response advertising, it's an ad that causes people to respond on the, personally, I would like to differentiate advertising into 2: direct response and awareness advertising. So there's the one you do not basically because you want people to buy, but you just want people to know about the product. For example, most of the ads you see on TV and stuff is usually, most, not all, is usually awareness advertising. So they do this close-up ad, tom ad and stuff. They don't necessarily tell you where to buy it, right? But they're just trying to build that option or image in your mind. That is where I talk about the buying bench, right? They do that to make that product part of your buying bench or part of your evoked set. I think if you read Akin Alabi's book on either small business, big money, or how to sell to Nigerians, he talks about the evoked set there. Now, the fifth, we call it pillar now, is demand generation. So how do you generate demand for your product? One way is scarcity. Now, I will recommend scarcity if you are a big dog in the industry. Scarcity can work, right? There are promotions, free trials, limited access. I don't know where I read this survey or this study again, that all this free trial for 3 days, 7 days, cancel after 2 days or so if you're not comfortable with the something. has helped this company sell more. And that is why before you use any free product, it will give you 30 days free trial, but you just have to put in your card. Reason being that most persons forget to cancel and then they collect your money. Funny story, when I was still an undergraduate in my 100 level, I signed up for this in South. I cannot even forget her name. On LinkedIn, had design stuff. Someone I follow had recommended it. See what influencer marketing can do. What's his name? Fisayo Fusudo. Yes, he recommended her course on design. So I went, free trial. I put my card. I forgot to cancel. I think my wallet was stolen or something. So, or no, it was not before then. I forgot to cancel. It was not stolen by then. It was stolen later on. And brothers and sisters, guess what? 1 month passed. I didn't even see the course. I remember one time I went to look for it. I didn't even see it. So I thought, oh, maybe it didn't work. All this online thing, maybe it didn't work. They didn't collect money, so my school fees was sent to that account. Ladies and gentlemen, I opened it. The money, I discovered the money had cut. They sent me a debit alert. Haha. Wahala. This is 100 level me. My brain want to burst. Where will I see 30k to use and complete this money? God. I started asking people for money. Anybody out there, I put my card, I bought calls. They say, all this online thing, all that. I later had to go block the card and stuff like that, But you see all these free trials, it works. Now, if you're not a digital product person or a service-based, more like a SaaS, right? Service-based software product kind of business owner, you will not understand. But then you can relate to other things. So there's limited access, there's social proof. Social proof is going to include your testimonials, right? So testimonials help you generate demand for your project. There's the wait list, right? So based on the number of persons that join your wait list, you know how much your marketing strategy is doing, right? From wait list, if this product goes live, these are the number of persons that may get this product. There are referral programs, right? One of the ways Pampe dominated then was referral. I think if you get 2 persons, they'll give you 1,000 naira or 2,000 naira, those kind of stuff. Referral works every time. Referral is part of the reward system, right? And then consistent content. If you do social media very, very well and you become big, you always say or hear them say that you need to be consistent. Posting every time. If you post once in a while, Facebook will show your content to people once in a while. Very painful. Like, why can't you guys know where my content to do? Just send one I do. You need to post back to back. And since this is inner circle, you guys paid for it, I will just give you this gist. In business, in life, in content, in anything, there are always 3 stages. The first stage is the initial hype stage. So let's say, for example, you post content. Now, if you post content at this initial hype stage, you will notice that family, friends, everybody will react. Oh, nice, your work is nice, your videos are nice, your write-up is superb. Then you go to the second phase of consistent posting. At that second phase, it's called the valley experience. It's as if everybody has gotten fed up of what you are doing. You can now post and just see 1 like, 2 likes, 3 likes. For many of us, we battled at this stage because we cannot imagine putting in the amount of effort and work required only to come and deliver a product that 1 person will see or 400 people will see and just 2 people will react. And then once you consistently keep posting, that's the only way you can break this level, right? This valley level. The way you can break it is to consistently post, consistently keep showing up. This, like I said, this is not only for posting, but in business. It gets to that point where it's as if you're losing money, no customers, no nothing. The more you keep pushing, the more consistent you are, the more you keep showing up, people that matter, begin to take notice. And so at that point, this algorithm or these social media platforms will start sharing your content wide, and it will start attracting the kind of persons you need. Right, so examples of popular businesses that grew using these methods: Uber grew through referrals. So you refer somebody, you get a package or a discount or stuff while you use the app. PalmPay, like I said, grew through incentive, right? Refer this person, I will give you something and stuff like that. PayPal, when I opened the account, I think they would give you free $10 reward if somebody you invite signs up with $100 or something like that. So demand is created. Market share does not fall from heaven. See, no matter how you do your market survey and think there is a market for you, you will have to create that demand for your product. It's just one in 1,000 products that, because of how bad the condition or situation is, demand is almost automatic. But for most of the time, you are going to need to create that demand or create that direction towards the towards your own supply, right, for that demand. Now, the second thing I said we're going to look at is sales. Sales is basically the system of turning attention into money. Now, marketing, like we agreed, drives interest in what you're trying to do. It drives it. Sales captures that interest. So marketing is like toasting a lady. Sales is like putting a ring on the finger. Right? Now, what is sales? For those who are looking for definition of terms, sales, you can write that sales is the art and system, or art plus system plus science, right? So it's the art subject, art students, plus system plus science students, science subjects, of turning human curiosity into financial transactions. What makes you the money is sales. Like I said, marketing is like toasting. Sales is like marrying. Sure. Now, sales requires psychology, it requires structure, it requires repetition, persuasion, trust building, objection handling. See, if you're a guy, you would understand. If you're a lady, you should flip the script and try to understand. All these things now, if you master it, you can do business and you can toast a lady. Psychology. There's this book, Psychology of Money. If you've not read it, I recommend you go look at it. Psychology of money. Oh, sorry. Psychology. You need to understand human psychology. There has to be repetition, persuasion. Hey, fine girl, how are you? Oh, sorry, I'm not really in the mood for relationships right now. No problem. Consistently bombard her. Bombard. You are not putting her under pressure, but you're not giving her space either. So please, this is not for playboys. I only recommend this strategy if you're ready to settle down. I was discussing with a friend and I asked her, what are your specs in a man? And one of them she listed was he has to be ready to settle down. And I was like, which kind of specs is that? But then thinking back now, I realized, oh yes, some guys just want to get in the relationship for the sake of being in the relationship, not necessarily that they want to settle down. But then, sales. The 5. Remember, I don't like doing 5 this, so let's call it the steps. Steps to making sales. Let's just call it steps to making sales. Number 1 is lead generation. Now, lead generation is people who have shown some interest. This is going to be kind of easier for digital marketers because to an extent you can track most of these things than physical products. But this is what I like, right? When you go through this course, if there is a point you want me to give you a specific kind of direction at, right, please ask. Oh, how do I track lead generation or qualification or offer presentation for my product? It's easier for me to craft a response around your market or around your product. So people who have shown some interest, you made a post and you notice some people commented, some people liked, you're taking note of those people. Those are potential leads. So why will a lady like your product as someone who makes hair or makes clothes and write, wow, your designs are so nice and beautiful? She wears clothes, she makes hair, yet she has not contacted you to sew for her or plait her hair. She's a lead, a potential lead. She has shown interest, right? Now, lead qualification. At the lead qualification level, you have to understand that not everyone who likes your product can buy. So you will ask, can these people pay? Do they need it now? What's their urgency rate like? Permit me to add at this point that as much as I support pricing compromising, I speak English, at some point, please, if you're a business in Nigeria, do not compromise on your profit. Depends on your profit though. But all those 50 naira profit, 100 naira profit, 1000 naira profit you're doing, it's not going to do you any good. Number one, it keeps putting you at a level where you think nobody has money or you're not good enough to close a big deal. And what happens is that when you eventually get somebody that wants to pay you 10 or 15,000 naira, see, you will think it's going to be easy for you to make a mind shift from taking 1,000 naira to just accepting a job worth 10,000 naira until the job comes. And then you discover that you have not built yourself to be this person who can handle this kind of job. So while I support growth and stages, right? You start from, I did designs close to free at some point. I remember one guy had this contract we were doing. I did a design for him one time. He gave me airtime, 500 naira recharge card. So all of us went through that stage, but we are no longer there. If I do a design, it's because I want to do it free for you. But because you cannot be in terms of cost, right? Now, when you want to create market awareness, so like I said, that's why I prefer consultations to teaching. And even when I do teachings, I still want to have consultations or interactive sessions, because somebody now can be hearing this thing, and at a point where the person is supposed to be having pricing compromising, the person is fixing their price and doing go market share. But you need to understand, like I said, there are times where you compromise. Now, if you're going to charge people expensively on a product, I did a post where I talked about luxury products and stuff like that, where people want a middle ground for things. Most business people are either uninformed or are just stingy. Because why would, let's say for example, I pay for your program or your ticket. Now, you may not be able to do this for everybody, but I pay for your program or your ticket as a VIP. And let's say I paid 1 million or 500k, for example. Now, I may have paid that 500k. I don't have a car, probably, but I want to attend. It will not cost you anything. Now, if it's a program of 1,000 persons, there are different ways to go about it, right? But it's not going to cost you anything to try to reach out to these persons who have paid or who paid for VIP and give them a special kind of treatment. Oh, we noticed you paid for the VIP product. You could do it in batches. We noticed you paid for the VIP product. Please, where would you be spending the night today? We have an Uber parked outside for you that is going to take you to your destination. How much Uber won't charge you on top 500k where you charge person? It's not going to cost you anything on your customer's birthday, right? As a hairstylist or as a dressmaker, to give them something. May not be a free hair, could be a cloth, could be a jewelry piece or a jewelry set, could be something nice. But no, you just want to keep accumulating the money. All the money you have been accumulating, what good has it done to you? You don't know what it means that, oh, babe, let's go to this place and make my hair. No, please, I love my hairstylist, please. Oh, nothing can separate me and her. Oh babe, this your jewelry is nice, who got it for you? My birthday, it was my hairstylist. You don't know what word of mouth advertising can do for you. You're a shoemaker, a bag maker, a consistent customer or something is celebrating their birthday. You didn't think to gift them something. See, that's why I say you should not be compromising on your profit depending on how you charge. But if you know you charge well and it covers your costing, all this money we are accumulating is for what? Accumulate money is one of the ways to grow wealth. But see, investing, that thing you're doing is actually investing. The day you offend that customer, or you deliver late, or you deliver below expected, you think they'll just walk out on you? You have sacrificed into the relationship. It's more of like a personal kind of relationship now at this point. But please work with wisdom. You know who to do it for, not a customer that keeps pricing you and underpaying you or not paying you. Then you go to give them premium treatment. They will carry their family and friends and say, come, make we go this place where then they do things free. Right? Work with wisdom. The third step in sales, in sales, right, is offer presentation. Your pitch must be clever, visual. They should be able to picture what you're trying to say. Outcome focused, emotionally charged, easy to act on. I keep saying it and I'll say it again. Outcome focused. You're not coming to tell us this power bank, buy it because it is an ultra fast, modern, blah blah blah, super flying power bank. Blah, 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 blah. The current power bank I'm using, the only reason I bought it was because when I saw, someone I follow advertising it, he said it has this fall resistant kind of stuff. So power banks are known for falling and bloating, where the battery comes and it starts cracking. But this power bank can fall and it will not crack. Alone, that was the only reason I bought it. So if you come and tell me it's ultra fast, super fast, the power bank is not even fast charging. It's not. I've checked it. It's not fast charging. For some persons, fast charging may be a priority. But I will tell you that a lot of persons can sacrifice fast charging to a quality or a durable product. So don't come and tell us all the fancy things. Oh, it's using ultra modern lighting system. I don't need it. It's the power bank is supposed to charge. How long will it last before it gets spoiled, right? So it should be outcome focused, right? Not just stories. People don't really care about features. They care about results. Oh, does the power bank charge? Yes. Okay. If you paint it color blue and add tires and wings to it, it can fly. You may not really care that much. Now there's objection handling, right? I wish I can look at my notes at this point. Objection handling. At this point, you would have to start tackling reasons why people don't buy, or buying objections people have. Let's just look at 3, right? So they have objections about the product. Oh, I'm going to spend money on this. Will it really be worth it? Or will I just waste money on this? Buying objections about the product. If you remember the whole Temu story, right? Imagine the first time you were going to order from Temu eventually. You would obviously have objections. What if I order a gas cooker and then they send me this toy gas cooker? The second objection people have is the ability to use the product. Oh, buy my 7-day free masterclass on how to turn you from a newbie or zero salesperson to a 100k worth salesperson. And you think it's a good course, right? But there's somebody who is scared. Oh, if I buy this course, will I be able to use it? To an extent, this comes from their lack of self-esteem or low self-esteem, right? And so when we talk about objection handling, at this point you should be able to read the mind or understand the mind of your target audience and answer these questions while marketing. So you answer the questions of the objections they may have about the product, right, or your service. So you make a list of objections people have. Let's say you're a beauty technician, or a fashion person, or a photographer, or you're a chef, right? What objections do people have about my line of product or service? The ability to use the product. Oh, if I buy this akara mix, this 2 minutes akara mix, will I be able to use it? Oh, if I buy this course you are offering, if I buy this your product, will I be able to use it? Or will it work for me? And then the third objection they are going to have is the objection about you. And this one will come from the point of them not knowing you. And one of the ways to solve this problem is by showing social proof, testimonials. Right? So from your community or from your user database, you gather testimonials of people who have gotten these products, and you show them and say, oh, these are people like you. It has worked for them. Oh, I am this kind of person. My track record is this. My track record is that. That is how you handle objections. Right? So remember, the first step, lead generation. Second step, lead qualification. Third step, offer presentation. The fourth step, objection handling. And the fifth step, closing. Closing should not be forceful, should not sound forceful. Make it to the point, structure your marketing presentation to the point where saying yes is easier than saying no. Right? Then, number 3, team, remember this is marketing, sales, branding. Right? This is basically marketing, sales, branding. I combined 3 of them into this particular course so that we look at them. And why? Because branding is very, very important. When I keep hammering on white label, right, I advise that at the foundation stage you start working on branding, because branding is going to sell you a lot more products than normal selling. The name Dangote has sold more products than cement, sugar, and salt. And which other product again does it do? Apple, because it's a brand. Nike. See, sometimes the way people buy, I want to slap them like, guy. I know somebody who bought a shoe that I'm sure his brain was telling him this shoe is made in Nigeria. He brought the shoe back to the house. I saw the shoe. I didn't even look at made in what. I just naturally I feel everything is made in Nigeria. So, and he said that they told him the shoe was Italian. I'm like, bro, this shoe is a Nigerian shoe. And then he started paying him when he noticed the shoe had this crease. This crease his shoe used to have where they start sinking in. The top part of the shoe starts sinking in. So, brand made in China, made in this, made in that, has sold more products than. And you see, the funny thing, people know this is scam, but I don't know. I don't just know. That is what branding can do for you. Now, branding is not about the logo. Branding is not about colors. Branding is not about slogan. You see the advantage you have, right? Now, you understand entrepreneurship. You understand business. You understand branding. When you combine these things together and start a business, you have knowledge that an average person does not have. The reason why somebody in Onitsha or whatever is copying Gucci and calling it maybe Gusanu or Gusuyu or Gusai or something, or Gabbana and calling it Gabbane or something like that, it's because to an extent they understand branding, but then they understand the power of branding, right? But they don't have as much knowledge as you do. And so we all know branding is the perception, the memory, the meaning people attach to your business at scale. The reason why you should build a brand around yourself or your business is because tomorrow you want to do something, and the moment you have built a community or a brand, it's very easy to draw that audience to the next thing you're building. So you don't have to start from scratch to start looking for market share. Dangote now is in oil, and I heard he's cutting on the price of oil or something. I've not really done proper study, but I can tell you for a fact that he already has market share to an extent. Not because he's Dangote, but because he's Dangote. If you get what I'm trying to say, shout hallelujah. So, right, branding is the perception, the memory and meaning people attach to your business. Branding operates at the identity level, the emotional level, the culture level. People love culture, people love community, people love experience things that are built around making them feel there's past perceived value, present forgotten this thing by Myron Golden, right? More like levels of, will I call it value now? But that helps a product. So, this was something I wish I had as a child, and now as an adult I have the opportunity to have it, or the opportunity to give it to my kids. The product becomes highly valuable. Longevity, how long does it last? Sorry. By longevity we mean this thing has swallowed me. Right? We're talking about longevity, and I was talking about longevity of a product. So longevity in branding, right? Your branding is going to outlive you. Now, there are layers of branding. There's the brand identity. This is where most people stop at. Where is the visual and the verbal design, where they do the logo, color palette, typography, brand voice, slogan, packaging, all those kind of stuff. This is the basic level of branding. But you need to get this right. Your logo should be easily memorable or memorable or easy to remember. You should have a tagline that people can readily associate with. When we say just do it, you know who they are talking about. When they say, I've forgotten what Apple's own is now. Is it Think Different or something? There should be a packaging style people can identify you by. Identity is equal to recognition. The second level of branding or layer of branding is brand personality. This is the character of your brand. Right? The character of your brand. Do you want people to see you as a secure, trustworthy person, as a fun person, a friendly person, a premium brand, a community-driven brand? Right? Your personality is related to your relatability. Rhyme, guy, somebody comment word for me. But you get, right? So the second level of branding affects your brand personality, and the third level is your brand promise, more like your brand voice. So this is the experience your brand guarantees. See, this night or this morning, whenever you get this, write out your brand and try to see if you can answer all these questions. You have a brand identity. How unique is it? List it out. The second thing, brand personality. What is the tone? What is the character of your voice, of your brand? Sorry. When people relate with you, what do you want them to feel, or what do they feel about your brand? The third thing is your brand promise. Uber promised convenient rides anywhere, anytime. PalmPay, OPay, they promised instant transactions during that period where we were suffering from the transfer money today, you see the money tomorrow. They were doing sharp transactions. What is your brand promise? How loyal are you to it? What do you think is Money Point's selling point? Oh, my dear rhyme. money point, selling point. What do you think is the selling point? Get a business account in less than 5 minutes with just your blah 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 blah. Everybody wants business account. Money point. Right? Brands die when their promise breaks consistently. The more you keep breaking on your promises, we talked about leadership and we talked about personal leadership, right? When you have worked on yourself, at being a leader, which you are as a Vanguard, right, and as an entrepreneur and a business person, you know that your promise, your word is your, how do they say it? Your word is your what now? But then when you keep breaking your word or breaking the promise you're making to people, it keeps reducing the trust they have for you. So brands die when they break their promise consistently. People will no longer trust you. They just know that, oh, this guy, just leave him. Once he makes a promise, he will not keep to it. So, right? So, we'll look at this of more like a summary, right? Because I want to bring this to an end, right? I want to bring it to an end. And we'll call this how to market, sell, and brand properly. More like a summary, right? The first thing there is what? Understanding your market. Research deeply, observe daily behavior, interview customers, listen to online conversations, go to Twitter, join conversations. Facebook is not for liking or posting Sunday pictures. All those things are important, but that is not why you're on Facebook. That is not why you have a Facebook account. YouTube is not for watching just memes, right? Research deeply, observe daily behavior, interview customers, listen, contribute, join online conversations. But then that's at the understanding the market level. Number 2, craft a positioning statement. Pick a battlefield. The market is a battlefield. Business is battle. Pick a battlefield and own it. Number 3 is develop a clear messaging for your business. It should be simple, emotional, and story-driven. Now, the 4th thing is to build a consistent identity. When we say consistent identity, it could be in terms of colors, design, your voice, and your experience. Some people prioritize color and design, whereas the voice and the experience is always changing and not recognizable. So when you're building a consistent identity, make sure you also focus on your voice and your experience as well as design and colors. Number 5, choose a high return on investment channel. Right? We looked at places where your market could be social media, influencer marketing, and all other forms of advertisements or marketing channels or method. Right? We looked at the traditional media, physical marketing and stuff. So look for the one that promises the high positive or profit return on investment, because ROI equals to profit and loss, right? So look for the one that will give you more profit for your money and choose it. As time goes on and you begin to increase in profit, you can focus on retention advertising or awareness advertising, right? Then you deploy a demand creation engine. So at this point where you're creating demand engines, right, we've talked about them. Remember, this is more like a summary. So where you offer bonuses, referrals, right, challenges, stuff like that. For Jumia, the Jumia Black something Friday. I don't know if they were the ones that started the Black Friday thing, but now Black Friday is almost like everybody now is doing Black Friday. But that is how you create a demand engine. You build a sales system. Now, this is where many businesses fail. They don't follow up, they don't nurture client leads or leads that they have generated before. Somebody who bought from you before is a potential customer. Like I said, someone who reacts positively to your post is a potential customer. Most times they don't follow up. And we need to go past beyond this idea of just doing business just for the money. See, I don't know if there's anybody that likes money as much as I do, right? But even at that, I still know that money, if you chase money like you're chasing money, you will lose money. But when you optimize the systems around which money flows towards, you will get money. So follow up customers, check up on them, chat them up, right? Engage with them. See, build community. You may not be able to do it on a one-on-one personal basis. Build a community where they get to talk with themselves. Build a community. Deliver your brand promise, right? So when you make a promise, deliver on it. Experience is branding. Like, hi, what is branding? Branding is experience. Simple, short. Then the next, you maintain trust. Finally, maintain trust. It's better, will I say better to be slow? But see, maintain trust at any cost. Oh God, see. After this class, somebody should just put my account number in the comment section, because all these rhymes have been dropping here. It cannot be for waste. Yeah. Maintain trust, right? At all costs. Maintain trust. And so I think I've done justice to this to an extent. There were a couple number of things I also wanted to add, but this how this thing happens when it's on fire, basically. And so we'll just call this maybe part B, or just sales, whatever. Yeah, sales extra class or something. So remember, interactive session is coming up soon. Prepare your questions, contributions and stuff. We are going to get together and engage, right? And thank you for listening up until this point. I really appreciate. And God bless you. I would see you again maybe in this Vanguards BootCamp, right? Or in another course entirely. And if you have not gotten a copy of your Understanding the Wealth Creation, please do. The price will keep increasing, so I cannot even say what price it is now, but make a comment, right? And I'm going to reply you with details on how to get the pricing so that you can get a copy for yourself. It's a nice book, and it would actually help you, right? Especially if you're into business or you have plans of doing something about your finance. And like I said, keep your ears peeled for other updates. Subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed. We have a WhatsApp community and a Telegram community. Please do well to join, right? Or ask on how to join, and you'll be directed on how to. If you check my social media, my channel description, you may see a method or something on how to join. Or you just chat me up directly and I will direct you on what to do. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I say have a nice day. It's Silver Ezeh on this end, and I hope to see you some other time, right? Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye bye.